Hello everyone, today in this video we will be solving the 7th question on the topic arrays, and in this question we have the question name find pivot index. Okay, so to explain this, let's consider an array here. We have 6 elements here, 1 7 3 6 5 6. Okay, now if I tell you to point out any element such that the left of that element and the right of that element, those sum should be equal. For example, if I take it as 3 here, what is the sum? 8. Here what is the sum? 12 plus 5 17. Are they equal? No. Instead, if I took as 6 here, then count the sum here, I will get as 11, and I count the sum here 11. So what answer I get? 6 as the correct answer. Now 6 is in which index value? If I write the index values here, 0 1 2 3 4 5. So it is in third index, my output will be 3. Basically I have to find an element such that the elements to the left sum will be equal to the elements right sum. Okay, so let's consider this example, and the same example understand how it works. Okay, so my approach will be as follows. Okay, so firstly I'll calculate what is the total sum. Total sum how I'll calculate? By using a simple for loop. I'll add all these elements and store in the total variable. Okay, next what I will do, I'll consider another variable sum as 0. Then I'll start the another for loop. So basically we are running two for loops, one for calculating total here, another for calculating the pivot index. So how will I do that is, initially it will be 0 here. I'll start from the first index. If I take this as pivot element, let me change the color here. If I take this as the first pivot index, at that time this sum should be equal to this sum. What is this sum here? It is nothing, it's 0. That sum should be equal to the elements sum here. This sum is what? How can I calculate this sum? How can I calculate this sum? Easily I can calculate. I have the total sum here, just subtract with this one. If I subtract this one minus this one, I'll get the total sum as 27, which is nothing but this sum. I should compare 27 is equal to the left sum or not. No, it's not true. So therefore I'll increment the next, I'll move to the next point here. But before moving on to the next point, I should change this value, sum value. Why? Because if I am in 7th position, I should know this sum, right? That sum how I'll calculate? By adding this value to the initial sum, right? So if I make that change here, so my sum will be 1 now. And I am in which position now? I am in 7th position, means the second position with the value 7. Now I should check if this sum is equal to this sum or not. Now how can I calculate this sum? It is already stored here. Now how can I calculate this value? This value I cannot directly calculate. Why? Because if I just do total minus 7, I'll get the wrong answer. Total minus 7 is 21, but 21 is the sum of this one plus this one. So instead what I will do, if it means, suppose that this sum is equal to this sum, it's not true, but just suppose for understanding, if this was equal to this one, if this both were equal, what does that mean is, if I double this value, I'll get this whole answer, right? In case if this one was equal to this whole thing, if I double this, I should get the same answer as the this sum plus this sum, right? So let's see the actual answer and understand what I am trying to say. See, this sum is equal to this one. Okay, now if I do this sum here, okay, that is 11, and if I do into 2, what answer I should get? I should get the answer of this one plus this one, right? This one is 11, this one is 11, I'll get as 22. So 11 into 2 is also 22, this one plus this one is also 22, because both are same, right? So that's what we are checking, because we know what we can do is just subtract this one from this one. So what I'll get is 22. That is nothing but 22 is the sum of this one plus this one, this whole thing. Okay, this whole thing sum is 22, that I have value. Now how can I check if this half is equal to this half or not? That I can check, because I have this one, this sum I have stored here. If I do it double, that value should be equal to this value. Okay, then only I can say this one and this one are equal, right? So where we were here, 1 is here, 1 into 2 if I do, I'll get as 2. That should be equal to this sum plus this sum. What I mean is this sum plus this whole sum. What is this sum plus this sum? It's nothing but 28 minus 7. It is 21. 1 into 2 is not equal to 21, so therefore 7 is not the correct answer. We'll move to 3, and before moving to 3, I'll add 7 to sum. If I add 7 to sum, what I'll get as the total sum as 8. Now total sum is 8. I'll do into 2, that is 16. So I am in current position 3. I'll subtract this one from 3. I'll get the answer as 25. So 25 should be equal to this whole sum plus this sum, but 25 is not equal to these two, because this sum is 8. If I do into 2, it is coming as 16, but this whole sum is 25. So that means this and this are not equal. So therefore I'll move to the next location here. Before moving to the next location, I'll add this value to the 8 value. What answer I'll get is 11 here. So I'm in current position 6. Then what I'll do, I'll do this value into 2, that is equal to 22. That answer should be equal to this whole sum, this plus this, right? So how will I get this plus this? By subtracting 28 minus 6. So I'll get as 22, that is equal to this sum plus this sum, right? 22 is the whole sum as this one, that is equal to this left half's double. So that means this value is equal to 22 same. So these two values are same, therefore I'll stop and return as 3. Okay, so we move to the code here. In the code also we are doing the same thing. Two parts is divided. The first part, total and sum as initialized as 0, and I'll calculate total by using a for loop here. For each value in num, in the nums, I am adding num value to total, and after that point I will get the value of total as 28, and I will move to the next part of the code. In the next part of the code, I am running from 0 to nums length here, and each time I am checking if sum into 2 equal to total minus nums of I. Total is what? 28. Nums of I is the initial index which I am considering. If I see here, I am starting from here, I am considering this index. 28 minus 1, I am checking, then if sum is 0, 0 into 2 is equal to this one or not. This one how I am getting? By adding up this one and this one by subtracting 28 minus 1. So it should be equal to 27, but it's not 27. Like that, we'll move to the next one. We'll do the double of this one, that should be equal to this whole sum, this plus this. If it's equal, that means this part and this part are equal. Like that, we'll keep on check, and whenever we get the value, we'll be returning the which location we got the answer. Okay, and if you don't get, we'll return as -1. Okay, and instead of just I plus plus, I'm doing something else here. It is sum plus is equal to nums of, okay, nums of I plus plus. I plus plus will means by default it's happening here, and along with that I am just initializing another thing here. Sum plus is equal to nums of I, because before moving on to the next part of the code, I should make the sum value add up with the previous nums value. What I mean is, if I don't get the answer here for 7, the 7 value should be added to sum, then only I can move to this one. So I am just adding up the nums of I value with the sum value, then moving on to the next I location. Okay, so that this thing can be written in the code also. That doesn't make any difference here, but here also we can write. Okay, so to quickly wrap up what we are doing, what is our target? Our target is to find an element whose left element sum is equal to the right element sum. So basically we are first calculating total value, and then for each value we are subtracting here and checking this sum's double equals the whole sum or not. If it's equal, that means this is equal to this, then only the double is equal, right? So we are checking for each element, and before moving on to the next element, add the previous nums value to the sum value, then double this value, that should be equal to this whole sum. Whole sum how I'll get? This one minus this one, that whole sum. If it's equal to this this one's double, that means these two are equal. Therefore whenever it comes as true, I'll be returning the which index value I got the left and the right sum as equal. That index value will be returned. If it does not happen till the end, I'll be returning the value of means the return value as -1. That indicates it's not found. Okay, so that's all for this code, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.